Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up this screen. Oh, yeah, LSU is sold out. That's a lot of tickets. And LSU, I've been hearing from their fans, and they're saying bring it. And a bunch of them, as a matter of fact. And I can tell you right now, it's on. And we're going to talk about that. Also, the Vols are going with the Smokey Gray. We're going to talk all things Vols and LSU. All right, folks. I put out a couple of videos on LSU and saying they're worried, which they are worried. Look, if you were going up against the #1 offense in the country, you'd be worried too. LSU's been playing better. You know, they've been a little bit iffy, and really that Auburn game, they probably should have lost that without question. But, hey, when you get 4 turnovers, that changes the game dramatically. And, look, LSU's got the athletes. You know, they're not down there scared. I can tell you that. As a matter of fact, especially in their own house. So, you know, worried is one thing, scared's another, and they're not that. They're fired up, and they're ready for the Vols to come on down there and have a party in Death Valley, and that's what we're going to do. And like I said, fortunately, it's at 11 a.m., but, yeah, we're definitely going to bring it.
What is it? It's just what they bring, okay?
That's right. It's just what we bring. Yep, here it is. LSU versus Tennessee game is sold out. It says, welcome to Death Valley. I don't know if they really mean that. It says here in Baton Rouge, LSU versus Tennessee, Tiger Stadium, sold out, baby. That was said 3 hours ago. I don't know when that was. It says they're set to take on Tennessee. They call it 11 a.m. We call it 12 o'clock here.
Some folks call it a sling blade. I call it a kaiser blade.
And of course, LSU is now ranked in the top 25. They probably should be in the top 20, really. It says they cracked the top 25 for the first time. They're 4-1. You know, they've got a pretty darn good club down there. They got them ranked 25th, which, like I said, I think they should be about 18th, 17th, something like that. They've started out pretty good. They had that first loss, and everybody got down on them, and then they've won 4 straight since then. And a lot of people weren't impressed with that Auburn victory, but, hey, you know what? They won the game at Auburn, which is not easy. And that stadium holds over 102,000, so it's going to be very similar to our stadium. And 102,000 people, and you know what? There'll be a lot of Vols down there. My brother will be one of them. And he'll be loud for us. We'll probably have at least 10,000 out of that 102 will probably be Vols because we travel great. I mean, you saw we went up to Pittsburgh, and that's not as fun a trip as going to Louisiana or New Orleans. That place is, look, Louisiana, they know how to have fun. And I also heard, look, I've had a lot of comments from Louisiana folks. They've been watching that last couple of videos. Of course, you know, they're crazy about their team. They haven't been too brutal, but they told me this nonsense that everybody will be, you know, sober because it's 11 a.m. They've assured me that won't be the case.
You picked up some bootleg liquor. Where did you get the liquor?
So, yeah, they've assured me that won't be a problem. But you know what? It's still 11 a.m., okay? It's not 7. So, yeah, it's going to be loud, and they're going to be fired up for us. But let's just be frank about this. It's not going to be the same as a 7 o'clock game. It's just not. People don't have a chance to get all fired up, if you know what I mean. And one other thing, I got this comment from an LSU fan. And they said, well, you might have the #1 offense in the country, and you might score a whole lot, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to try to put some voodoo on you. And I'm sitting here going, they're the types that would do that. We don't need that crap.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that on us.
Yeah, I'm drawing the line on that. We don't need any of that crap. Y'all just play the game straight up. And we did have one injury update. I told y'all yesterday we weren't sure about Warren Burrell, but at that time, actually while I was putting together the video, they'd come out with the fact that Warren Burrell actually had season-ending surgery on his upper body, and that's unfortunate. Said Warren had surgery, would be out the rest of the season. Heupel said he played in the first 2 games, and he played pretty well, really. He had 12 combined tackles in Ball State and Pitt. So that's unfortunate, but look, you know, their injuries are part of the game, and I wish nobody ever got injured in the games. That includes LSU. But look, both teams have injuries. I think LSU lost one of their best defensive linemen like in the first series of the first game. He was like a 5-star freak athlete. And so, look, both teams are dealing with injuries. That's just kind of the way it is. Fortunately, we were off last week, so that's great for us. not only does it allow us to get a bunch of people healed up that were nicked and banged up, they can also take a little bit of a mental break after a fantastic start of 4-0, which is what we had expected to happen. Now, I had this game down as a loss early in the year. I thought we'd be 4-1 after this game. But with the game being at 11 a.m., the fact that our offense is playing at such a peak, and LSU has looked okay. They haven't looked, look, it's the first year for this coach. So, I was thinking it'd be a close game that we'd probably lose. But now I'm thinking, we're probably a 3-point favorite, something like that. So, that's pretty significant. And if we were here at our stadium, we'd probably be a 10-point favorite. So I feel pretty good about this game. Not great by any stretch, and we could definitely lose at Death Valley. Most people do. But our offense is going to be tough. The big thing, and I said this in my last video, we've got to stop their quarterback. And that's Jayden Daniels, and he's a pretty solid quarterback. He's had decent numbers. He's throwing at 68% completion for the year. And now he didn't play that great against Auburn. He was 8 for 22, I believe, or he was 8 for 20, and he didn't throw for a lot of yards. I think it was under 100 yards, and then he ran for about 50 or 60. But they had so many turnovers against Auburn, they were able to score some points. But look, Auburn's defense is pretty tough, and they played rough down there. I'm telling you, that was an inspired Auburn ball club. I'm kind of shocked they didn't win that game. But Jayden Daniels will probably have a good game against us. We had a lot of trouble with Anthony Richardson, and this guy's a lot like him. He's not as much of a freak athlete, but he's fast. He's real fast, and he does not throw interceptions. Now, last year, he had 10 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Well, this year, he has 0 interceptions and 6 touchdowns already. So he's playing pretty darn well, and we're going to have to slow him down. And like I said, it may end up being a shootout because our secondary is still banged up. We've lost Warren Burrell, and we weren't that good in the secondary anyway. But we have had 2 weeks to focus on LSU, our coaches, and hopefully, they've got it patched up good enough to where we can kind of hang on back there and keep them in, the 20-point range. Somewhere in that neighborhood would be good. If we could do that, keep them under 30, I think we'll be okay. This game will probably wind up being like 34-27, something like that. Now, we could be on the losing end of that, of course. But that's what I think we'll probably win by 3 points to 7 points, something like that, if things go well. If they don't, we turn the ball over 4 times like Auburn did, we will lose. You can count on that. And one cool thing for this game, we're going to be playing with our Smokey Grays, and this was Josh Dobbs. And, of course, we've got Josh Dobbs 2.0 with Hendon Hooker. I've named him that because he plays a similar style. He's got a little bit better arm than Josh Dobbs, and Dobbs runs the ball a little bit better. But I'll tell you what, man, Hendon Hooker ran the ball against Florida as well as any quarterback I've ever seen. So I may have to change that. But Josh Dobbs is in the NFL and has been there for several years making good money, and I think that's the exact same thing that's going to happen with our guy Hendon Hooker. As a matter of fact, I think he's going to make even more money. He might end up being a first-round draft pick, which would be awesome for us. And, of course, we got Nico coming in, and I know we're worried about our defense, and I understand that. But, look, we've got 4 four-star cornerbacks coming in next year in our secondary. We've got 2 top 10 edge rushers coming in as well. So that's 6 big-time recruits, and we're not done. And these coaches that are on the hot seat that I've been telling you about, those recruits that are committed to them are going, they may start looking at a really hot ticket here at Tennessee, hottest ball club in the country, really. And those folks that came to that Florida game, there was about 20-plus recruits. They were very impressed with our stadium and our crowd and just how amazing things get at our stadium. I don't think anybody's got a fan base like us. There are some that are close. LSU's going to be among them. I really like where our recruiting's headed for the future, because if we get a good defense with that offense that Heupel puts together, woohoo, man, we will be brutal. Yeah. And for LSU, it's on. It's definitely on.
It isn't on. Nothing's on. It's off.
It's on.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely on. This is a fantastic game coming up Saturday. I'm going to enjoy the crap out of it. And I can tell you the LSU fans are ready. They're going to be fired up. And I know it's at 11 a.m., but it's still going to be really loud, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And there's nothing better than going into this game 4-0 and LSU being 4-1. It's back like it should be, because these are 2 teams that should be at the top of the conference like it used to be, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the new Vols. And if anybody's been bringing it, it's been Josh Heupel. It has been Broughton. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.